After Christmas this year, Mary and I went up to Minnesota, and we went to see our granddaughters. And on Sunday, first Sunday after Christmas, we paid a visit to a parish nearby our son's house called the Church of St. John the Evangelist in St. Paul. The wonderful, rich, beautiful liturgy, and we get done, we go down to the coffee hour, and I see a person there, and we introduce ourselves, and she says, "Oh, I'm going to be in your diocese next month." I said, "Oh, hello." Really delighted that Erin, who our conference facilitator, is with us today and will be working with us on what has really become a theme across the diocese, a theme of concern, let me put it that way, across the diocese. Pretty much everywhere I go, people are saying, how can we think differently about our stewardship? Erin is a fundraising and strategic planning consultant with the Vandersall Collective, as well as a published author. She strives to root her work in practical theology while drawing upon her significant experience in the nonprofit sector. She's also the co-founder of the Collective Foundation, which works to address the gap in giving characteristics in faith communities of color. Erin currently serves as primary faculty of Project Resource, a national training program on stewardship for the Episcopal Church. Now, I am, of course, grateful to all of you for being here this morning for this time of rethinking stewardship. Many of you who are here today have attended one of my forums across the diocese on Christian maturity in an age of alienation. And you may have participated in creating the lists of disciple characteristics and practices that we refer to for ways to grow into our Christian maturity. Now, if you've done this, if you've participated in this, you've also begun reflecting on what it means to practice and integrate God's call to us in Christ Jesus fully into our lives. Hopefully, we then become voices who transform the world. Of course, one of the disciple practices that has been most commonly offered in those forums has been generosity. Generosity is a practice, but it also is something that we take into ourselves in such a way that it transforms not only our approach to money, but also our approach to each other, our approach to the world around us. So it's my hope today that as you reflect further on the financial aspects, and I'm guessing that Erin will be talking about more than just finances in today's talk and today's work with you. But it's certainly my hope that our life in this diocese will be moving closer and closer to the generosity that God has shown us and God's call to us. Thank you, Mitch, and the leadership and people of St. Martin's for making this space available, for your hospitality, for all of you in taking the time out of a Saturday to come down and be a part of this conversation. Let's begin the day in prayer. This is a prayer from the Diocese of Washington. O God, in whose every creation we discover a gift freely given, help us to understand that all we have comes from the outpouring of your generosity. Inspire in our hearts a deep sense of gratitude and move us to share what we have received with the same immensity of spirit in which it was given. May our gifts of substance and service be an example of Christ's enduring presence and outreach to this community and all beings. Amen. Please join me in welcoming Erin Weber-Johnson.
All right, thank you for that lovely introduction. Can you hear me? Yes? All right, am I on? Well, maybe, am I on now? Maybe I will use the mic until I am on. Oh, hey, there I am. Well, hello there. So my name is Erin Weber-Johnson. I am your presenter today. It would be helpful for you to know just a little bit about me and the context to which I come from. So let me tell you about that. I am not a cradle Episcopalian. Of those that are in the room, how many of you were born into the Episcopal Church? Wonderful. It's so good to see many of you. I was not. And I was welcomed and received in 2003 and a little church actually in Renton, Washington. From there, I was sent out as a missionary with my husband, where I spent a year as a missionary in Taiwan. And then from there, he discerned a call to the ordained ministry, and I discerned a call to the non-ordained ministry. So I was at NYU getting my grad degree in fundraising when I was recruited right out by the Episcopal Church Foundation, where I spent many years doing capital campaign fundraising and annual giving, raising, teaching, as well as doing planned giving, and then eventually became senior program director and was there for about 10 years. And then at which point I knew I needed a sabbatical. I needed a time of rest and discernment. So I spent 4 months in sabbatical where I realized that I needed to return back to the thing that I most loved doing. Instead of managing the programs, I needed to work with churches like all of you, doing the good work of relational teaching, of doing the work of one-to-one raising funds, exploring what does it mean to raise up a vision so beautiful that we invite others to participate within. So I joined a startup. It's an ecumenical faith-based firm called Vandersall Collective, which is located in New York. I am not in New York. My husband is in St. Paul, Minnesota, and I like to remain married even though it is really cold there right now. I have had the opportunity to work in capital campaigns ranging as small but as important as 75,000 and as big and as important as 8 million and everywhere in between. Churches ranging in all sizes, all different demographics. And I have experienced the diversity and the breadth and the vitality of our Episcopal Church. But I've also recognized from those experiences that in order for us to see stewardship as a ministry, then it becomes really important that we move beyond the idea that there is a magic bullet. It's really important that we move beyond the idea that if we follow this step and this step and this step, we will automatically see results. And so I'm sorry today. If you were hoping to come with a magic bullet, I do not have that for you because it does not exist. It is a lie. And I want to free you all from that lie today. The work of stewardship is a contextual ministry that is holy and it is life-giving for your congregations. It is just as important as any other ministry that you are engaged in because it is deeply rooted in a relationship with Jesus. And that, unfortunately, just can't come in a box, because if it did, I would be so rich. But I'm kind of glad it doesn't. Because there is something about meeting one another and inviting someone into a closer relationship to God through their giving that cannot put a price tag on it. So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today. When I first started out with cutting my teeth in capital campaigns, I was sent out to a lot of different places. And one of those places was in a small church in Pennsylvania. Nicholas has heard this story, actually. I was sent out to this church where the roof literally caved in on a January by the snow. There'd been deferred maintenance for years and years and years, and it became desperately clear they were going to have to do a capital campaign. So they brought me in, and I was new, and I had all of these fundraising ideas. And I was doing a training. And after the training, this gentleman came up to me. He must have been in his early to mid-70s. And he said, you know, Erin, I have been tithing. He was a tither. I have been tithing to my church for years and years. And I am on a fixed income, Social Security. I can't give to this capital campaign. And it breaks my heart. I don't know what to do. Well, what do you do with that moment? I freaked out. In my head, not outside, inside. I freaked out, and I immediately started to apologize to this gentleman. I immediately said, oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for your gift. And then, thanks be to God, he interrupted me. And he said, I have an idea. I have an idea. And I said, what's your idea? Now, this is an important reminder. Just to say that I'm married to an Episcopal priest. That'll become important in just a second. He says, I have an idea. He says, twice a week, I go to the bakery and I roll dice with my buddies. I said, what? I think you might be confessing to the wrong Weber-Johnson. Like, I don't do that. And he said, oh, no, it's just for pennies. It's just for pennies. But I drink coffee. And I said, okay. And he said, I can give up my coffee money to this capital campaign. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, this is the most beautiful gift. Well, as you can probably tell, I got a lot of mileage out of that story because it's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story of a transformational gift. But it's also an important lesson. It's an important lesson because today I'm going to be talking a lot about new practices in the field. I'm going to be talking about making this contextually appropriate, thinking about who are in your pews and how do you meet them where they are. But all of these practices will not be effectual. They will not be helpful to you all if we do not take the time as individuals to explore our own relationship to money and our own money narratives as a congregation. Because this is a beautiful story about coffee money. But on the flip side, my own money story almost got in the way of that invitation. My own experience of money prompted me to almost start apologizing to this gentleman for offering him the opportunity to give. I was recently working at a church that will remain nameless because you'll find out why in a moment. And I was working with a church, and we had a beautiful campaign all spread out for something that was really important. And there were all of these packets put together, beautiful campaign brochures and pledge cards for every household in the parish. And an individual came through as she was supposed to be passing them out, and she said, oh, this person, they don't have 2 nickels to put together. They can't give. And she scratched off my packet. And she set it aside. And I thought to myself, in my head again, well, what hubris. Wow, that this person would discern who is able to give and who isn't. And then I was reminded of my coffee money. And I thought, I am that person too. We all have our money stories. We have what we bring to the experience of giving, what we bring to the act of stewardship, what we bring to our relationship to God. Owning those stories, acknowledging them is an important piece because as represented by this beautiful church, I can create systems for you. I can create fabulous practices. And yet if we don't acknowledge our stories, we can run the risk of not inviting everyone to the table or missing something really beautiful. So I want to begin by today. You have in your packets, we have an agenda. We have a list of self-reflection questions. On the back of that, I believe, is a set of group reflection questions. We're going to walk through that today. What you can anticipate from me is this. We will spend time doing breakout sessions and plenaries, but at no time do I want you to feel inhibited to ask a question. I believe that this is a mutual learning opportunity, that you all are the experts of your context and you bring with you knowledge that's important to share to the group. So if at any point you have a question or concern, I want you to raise that for us. I don't mind being interrupted, and I'm pretty comfortable with hearing what you have to offer. So please do. So I'd like you to look at self-reflection question number 1, which says, when I hear the word money, these 3 words come to mind. I want you to take just 1 minute. Don't overthink this. You don't need to create a theological treatise about what comes to mind. What first 3 words come to mind for you when you see the word money? Okay. 3 words. Can you share one of your words with me? Go ahead. Wow? Why? Good. That's a great one. Amount. Okay. Others? Budget. Yes. Keep going. Ew. And I heard somebody else? Tool. Was it actually ooh, or did I hear something? Oh, okay. Ooh and tool. Okay. Opportunities. All right, others. Oh, I love all the enthusiasm. Say one. Decisions. What else was said? Giving. Decisions. I might have spelled that wrong. Giving. Spend. Enough. Yep. More. These are great words. Keep going. Future. Yep. Self-sufficiency and need. Security. And instruction. Please go on. Yep. Important. Worry. I didn't forget confidential, don't worry.
Responsibility.
Confidential. Good. Responsibility. Yep. Okay. All right. So, this is a great point for me to acknowledge that we are being recorded today. Alan, behind the scenes, is doing an excellent job of making sure that those that aren't with us today are able to learn from our experience and engage at a future date. So what you'll hear me doing is that when you all speak up, which I hope that you will continue to do, that was fabulous, you'll hear me saying it out again so that make sure that it gets picked up. And if at any point you have a question, there's also a microphone here that's available to you. So in terms of money words, we have why, amount, budget, ew, tool, opportunities, decisions, giving, spend, responsibility, hope, enough, more, future, self-sufficiency, need, security, instruction, important, worry, and confidential. I want you now to do something for me, and it takes a little bit of courage to trust me, but I believe that we're up to the task. What I'd invite you to do is to close your eyes. Now, what I'd like you to do is to recall a time that you experienced a transformational gift. Either you received it, you gave it, or you bore witness to it. You experienced a transformational gift. It could have been a gift of money. It could have been a gift of something. It could be even outside of the church. What did that feel like? What did that feel like? Do you remember how old you were? Do you remember what else was happening for you at that time? Do you remember even what you were wearing? Were you eating? Who was with you when you experienced that gift? How does it make you feel now to remember it? All right, you can open your eyes. So when you think on a transformational gift, now I'd like you to share with me what words come up for you now. When you think of it, what 3 words come up for you now? Freeing. Hold on 1 second. Thanks, Mitch. Freeing. Okay. Say it again for me. Blessing. Uh-huh. Say that one more time. Excitement. Encouraged. Amazing. Love. Love, God. There was someone else? Overwhelm. Grace. Uncomfortable. Thank you. Grateful. Relief. What other words come up for you? Thoughtful. Joy. Humbled. Thank you. One last word. 2 last words. What was yours? Responsibility and peaceful. Okay. Now, what do you notice about the difference between the words that were emerging under money versus the words that I asked you to connect with a personal experience? Some were emotion-based. Good. Others? There were feelings attached. Generally more positive. Good. More fulfilling. More open. More hopeful. What do you notice about your body that changed between the words money and the words over here around transformational giving? What did you notice in your body and in your emotions? More relaxed? More ready to talk? More ready to engage? More transparent. More vulnerable, right? I want to acknowledge that each of you today come with deep stories about giving from your own personal finance, giving at the church, and what this has meant to you. And we bring all of that. There are no bad feelings here. There's no unwanted experience or emotion. Everything is brought. Just like at the Eucharist table, right? We bring it all. And we offer it up to God, asking God to bless it. and use it, and to mold and to shape and to form us through the Holy Spirit. And then in the active stewardship, as it becomes a contextual ministry, then we also then are able to connect with other people who bring their stories. In my field, we call that donor characteristics, but their own stories and their own desires and their own pastoral needs. All right, so now it's time for another courageous act on your part as well as mine. What I'm going to ask us to do is we are going to break out into an exercise. And I'm going to break you out into circles of 4. Get ready. The only easiest way to do this is for me to count off on my own. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I get your table? 1. You good? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Bishop Waldo, you are wonderful to bear witness to this in the back, but I do need a 4th, so I'm going to draw Mitch. Thank you, Mitch, into being a 4. Okay, thank you, Mitch. What I'm going to ask is this should be simple, all of the 1s and the 3s, I want you to stand up. Thank you. All right, 1s and 3s, I want 1s to create a circle over here, 3s to create a circle over here. Oh, you're doing so great. Keep going. 1s over here, 3s over here. All right. Meanwhile, 2s and 4s, you may stand up. 1s, have you created your circle? Now, it needs to be a tight circle. A tight circle. Tight. You can do this. Tight circle. Good. This is a tight circle. This looks great. Okay. 2s and 4s. 2s, I want you to form an outer circle around this group. Find one person to pair up. There will be an outer circle and an inner circle. Find one person to pair up with, outer circle and inner circle. All right, 4s, please find a partner over here. You'll be the outer circle. Okay, is everybody paired up? Does everybody have a partner? Partners? Everybody have a partner over here? Good. Okay, here's what we're going to do. For 1 minute, I want, yes, question. Oh, we have a partnerless person. This cannot happen. Oh, okay. Yes, can you cross over and join over to this partnerless? Let's wish her well. She was well loved over here and now transitions over here. Okay. Inner circle. I want you to share for 1 minute with the outer circle your first experience of asking someone to give to something. It doesn't have to be to the church, but it could be. Your first experience of inviting someone to give, maybe to buy Girl Scout cookies, Boy Scout cookies. Maybe it's to give to the youth group. Maybe it was your first time being on stewardship or fundraising for something for a local school. 1 minute, inside circle, sharing with the outside circle only listening. And go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, are y'all ready? This is the closest we're going to come to a country square dance. Get ready. Outside circle, raise your hands. Good. You are going to change up partners, go round and round. I want you to move two partners to your left, so essentially going in a clockwise fashion. Say goodbye. Greet one another. Okay, are you ready? Okay. What I want you to do is inside circle, share with the outside circle. What do you wish people knew at your church about money? What do you wish people at your church knew about money, whether it be something personal or something about the collective? Something you wish people at your parish knew about money. All right. Inner circle sharing first, and go. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to move. Okay, outer circle, you're going to move again 2 spots to the left, clockwise. Say, see you later to the inner circle. Nice to see you to the outer. Okay. So, we started from the very large collective story of any place in the world naming your first experience of giving. We moved it to what do you wish people knew at your church, right? Now I'm going to ask you to share something a bit more personal and more individual. What I want you to do, outer circle this time, I'm going to give the inner circle a chance to be the listener first. Outer circle, I would like you to share with the inner circle. Please share the first time you can recall making a gift. What was the experience? What was your story around it? First time you gave a gift, whether it was to a person or whether it was to a church or an institution. What do you remember about giving, your earliest experience? And go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. I love that people are still talking. This is great. 2, 1. Okay, you may be seated. A job well done to all of you. Well done, everyone. Okay, come on back. Come on back. How did that feel? How did that initially, when I asked you to stand up and share stories? Nerve-wracking. See, okay, I like the transparency and honesty here. Yes. Yeah, you were like, is this what the whole day is going to be like? Is it too late for us to leave and she won't see, right? I get it. Well, go ahead. Who let the Lutheran in? It's funny you would say that. I come from the land of Lutheranism. I left my lutefisk at home, though. Yeah, oh, there we go. Okay, I love it. Hello, hello. So what else? As you were sharing, what went through your mind?
It was fun.
It was fun? Was it?
Stepping out of my comfort zone.
Stepping out of your comfort zone. Good for you. Well done. Others?
I kept getting stuck with clergy, so I think God was picking up. Stuck had to be a real strong term to use. I was anxious in every conversation.
I was blessed with my clergy partners. Okay, I get it. Good. As you started sharing more personally, what did you experience? Emotions? started feeling emotions. Interesting. It became easier for some. This is a really important practice because I can talk all day about owning our stories, but you just did. You just did the work of talking about some of your money narratives and some of your own relationships. And that is powerful. It's powerful for you, and it's powerful for the congregations that you work and serve within. It's important to note that as you started sharing more, it became more and more difficult for me to stop your conversation, which is great. That's how it's supposed to work. It's almost as if once we begin sharing and talking about stories, we begin to live into them again and own them again.